are going to discuss the story and the important events that occurred before the publication of Gulliver's Travels, which are very important from the examination point of view. So let us discuss. At first, we need to understand that the main text of Gulliver's Travels is travels into several remote nations of the world. Okay, and this is the first novel in the English literature. Then it was published in the year on 28th October 1726. From now, almost 293 years ago, but even though it was written many years ago, it is as popular as it was at the time of publication. But we should remember that it was not a single person's effort. Okay, it was not only the task of Jonathan Swift. Initially, there was a group which is called Scribble Rush Group. Okay, Scribble Rush Group. It was a group of these poets and writers: Jonathan Swift, John Gay, John Arbuthnot, then Alexander Pope. These 4 members had made this group. In the examination, they might ask you who all were the members of Scribble Rush Group. Okay, and what was their purpose? You need to write these 4 writers' name, and their purpose was to satire. Through their writing, they used to satire folly of modern scholarship and science. All right. Now, another important question they might ask you, it is regarding Martinus Scribble Rush. Okay, see, these 4 writers had created an imaginary character, and its name was Martinus Scribble Rush. Okay, and they had also written the biography of Martinus Scribble Rush as well. And for so many years, nobody knew that it was an imaginary character. Okay, now let us talk about Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift was born on 30th November 1667 and he died on 19th October 1745. He was member of Whigs, but later on, when Whigs had become weak, he shifted to Tories. He joined Tories, and these two were the powerful parties in England. Okay. Later on, he became Dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin as well. Okay. Let us talk about his literary contribution. This work, A Tale of a Tub, which was published in the year 1704, had become a hit. Okay. Another work was An Argument Against Abolishing Christianity, which was written in the year 1712. After that, he published Gulliver's Travels, and this was very first novel, and it had become very famous, as I have already told you. Now, in this book, we find 4 different travels or voyages of Gulliver Travel, which is mentioned here. Okay, and out of these 4, we are going to discuss the first one, Voyage to Lilliput, in details in this video. Alright, but before that, let me talk about nicknames or pseudonyms of Jonathan Swift. Lemuel Gulliver, Isaac Bickerstaff, M.B. Drapier, and he used these pseudonyms so that he will not be recognized, because he was so outspoken and he did not want any political explosiveness. Okay, he did not want to be targeted by political parties. Therefore, he used these pseudonyms. Okay, friends, the journey which is described in Gulliver's Travels are mentioned here. Okay, these 4 journeys are given in book 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the first voyage, or in the first book, we find Voyage to Lilliput, and in book 2 we find Voyage to Brobdingnag. In third book we find Voyage to Laputa. In the last one we find Voyage to Houyhnhnms. Okay. Now today in this video we are going to discuss the first journey of Lilliput. All right. Let us find out what Jonathan Swift wants to convey to us. Friends, let's go through the story now. Gulliver's Travels' first voyage, and this voyage was towards Lilliput. Okay, land of tiny creatures or tiny human beings. Gulliver was the protagonist of this story. And Gulliver, the word has come from gullible, it's said. Because gullible means the one who accepts whatever people say. Okay, they are easily deceived. Okay, and such was the character of Gulliver. He was very intelligent person, he was well educated, and only drawback was that he was extremely obsessed with navigation. But he was a surgeon by profession, but even after becoming a surgeon, he was not happy here. He was not able to give his best. Then he changed his job. He discussed with his wife, and with the help of her, with her decision, he joined this job, okay, of captainship, and he was very happy. Now he was voyaging frequently, okay, and was born in Nottinghamshire, and he was a gullible person, okay, and he was very honest man, and he expected even people to be an honest human being, okay. Therefore, it was so ironic, right, that whatever we are, we expect other peoples to be so. Let us see now what happened in the land of Lilliput. Okay. Now what happened? Let us just start the story. Gulliver was traveling. Lemuel Gulliver. Okay. His full name is Lemuel Gulliver. He was traveling towards East Indies. Okay. But unfortunately, because of the heavy storm, his ship got damaged, and he had to swim across and come to the coastal area. Somehow he saved his life, but during that process he was so tired, and when he woke up, he slept, and when he woke up, he found that he was captivated by tiny human beings. Okay, and those were of 6-inch height or 15 centimeters only, and this was the land of Lilliputians. Okay, the land of tiny people. And Gulliver's huge size scared them. Lilliputians, they thought that it was giant, and therefore they started taking precaution by tying him to the ground. Okay, but when he woke up, even though he was attacked, he did not say anything. He showed good behavior, and Lilliputians were convinced. Okay, Lilliputians were convinced that he was not a threat to their kingdom. Therefore, they gave residence in the land of Lilliputians. For him, they did everything. They arranged a cart to take him to city. Then they made clothes also by keeping so many workers into the task. They made meals. Okay, it took a huge amount to feed Gulliver, but they did not deny. They showed good hospitality, right? And because of his behavior, he became favorite of the royal court as well. King and other courtiers, they loved him because not only behavior-wise he was good, but he was intelligent as well. And in so many situations, he gave his crucial advice, which benefited Lilliput. Okay. Now, because of his good nature and very helpful nature, his shackles were opened. Before that, he was tied. Okay, he was tied, and a heavy ball was tied with his ankles, because of which he was not able to escape or move anywhere freely. All right, and he was kept inside the temple. Now, when he showed good behavior, then he was made free, and now he was able to roam around. But one precaution he had to take, that he will not harm anybody. Gulliver will not harm anybody from that island, from that Lilliputians land. Okay. Now, Lilliputians were hospitable. As I have already told you, they provided cloth, food, and shelter to Gulliver. It shows that king and other countrymen, they were hospitable, and they knew how to celebrate arrival of the guest. Okay. Now, he noticed that in the court of Lilliputians, great importance was given to trivial things and trivial matters. In the court, they should be discussing about the defense of the land, okay, how economy of their land can grow, and other very crucial issues. But it was contrary. Trivial issues like which side of the egg should be crushed, okay, before use. So such kind of arbitrary discussions used to go, which was noticed by Gulliver, And then we see that because Gulliver was huge, his help was taken by king as well. Okay, now Gulliver helped royal court of Lilliputians in war as well, war with Blefuscu. Okay, now what he did, he stole warships of Blefuscu. Okay, and obviously Lilliputians won the war and they were happy. They again gave more respect to Gulliver, but greedy king wanted more. He wanted to misuse the power of Gulliver. He said that he should take away all the warships of Blefuscu, to which he denied. Gulliver denied because he was very innocent and simple person. He knew that what is morally upright and what is not. Therefore, he totally denied. And this made king furious. Not only this, but other incident as well. What was that? We will discuss. See, now when he denied, the king was very furious and he was displeased. Alright? And in the meanwhile, there was a fire, okay, which occurred in capital city. And so many citizens were trapped in a building. Okay? Gulliver had no other option than to urinate and extinguish the fire. He does that and it was taken as dishonor by the king. And he planned to blind Gulliver by taking away his eyes and starving him to death. Because of two reasons. First reason was that he did not agree to he did not agree to destroy the ships and he extinguished the fire by urinating. Okay, so because of these two deeds of Gulliver, he became so angry and he had planned to blind him and starve him to death. But there was a friend, well-wisher of Gulliver, which helped him in escaping from Lilliput. All right, and he escaped to Blefuscu. He had taken away warships of this country. Okay, so he goes there and the news reaches to Lilliputian's king, and what he does, he says that Gulliver should be returned to Lilliput, okay, which Blefuscu's king denies. Now, Gulliver did not want to be commodity of battle between Blefuscu and Lilliput, okay. Therefore, he spots an abandoned boat and he sails out to be rescued by a passing ship. Finally, he reaches back home, that is England, very safely, and the story ends. Okay, now friends, here we need to understand that Blefuscu stands for France and Lilliput for England, and it shows battle between France and England. All right, and the tiny people of England shows the people of England who are mentally and morally small. Okay, they are not morally upright, and intelligence wise as well, they are not up to the mark. They had experienced lots of changes, industrial revolution and other things, but they had lost their moral values and they did not know the developments, technical developments that they did, where they should use it. Okay, so entire novel talks about the meanness of English people. Okay, political powers were also not in favor of citizen. They did whatever was beneficial for them. Therefore, the novel talks about the contemporary situation of England and France. All right, so by this, the novel ends.